Would you like to support Cubs Out Loud? One way is to join us over on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, patrons get early access to our shows, the pre- and post-show, and various other rewards. You can learn more at patreon.com/CubsOutLoud. Thanks to all our patrons for their support in making this podcast. It's Sunday, July 2nd, 2023. I'm Jeff. Mouse.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Everyone else is thinking it, and I just say it.
And welcome to Cubs Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, episode number 700!
Woo!
I've done 700 of these things and more. Is it time
Yeah.
Brothers, sisters, NBs, and the in-betweens, welcome to the 700 Club.
Oh, God,
Ooh.
no.
Ooh.
Mm-mm. No, no, no.
What? He burning in hell right now. Anyway,
I mean, true.
someone else got to host the show.
What? The
Gary.
700 Club on its head.
God bless it. Lord. No, we're not. Mm-mm. No.
There.
Episode 700, and it's one of those shows. Yep. June happened. Got a soft deployment. I worked. Like video games. Yeah.
So,
Play a little D&D too. Yeah. Damon?
like, sixth verse, same as the first. Just wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, pretty much. This is my boring life.
So, June. Yeah. Shit, I just got emotional. I got
feel like
married.
yeah.
Yeah,
I felt like
got
something
married.
significant happened
Yeah,
after
almost 20 years
almost
to the day. Yeah. So, on June 11th, 2023, Jim and I got married. I don't want to say officially, but making our relationship legal in that regard. So it was a great ceremony, and like I said, I'm weirdly getting emotional. Don't know why. Friends and family showed up. It was a wonderful time, thanks to the event center that held our wedding. Thanks to friends and family. We had a great DJ. We had an amazing photographer who did our photography despite having a really bad back. The food was good. And the best part was we didn't have to take a whole bunch of stuff home. That was, to me, one of the best moments. We had leftovers from the food because we had banked on 100 people, and I don't think 100 people showed up, which is fine. But the thing that the event center did that we weren't expecting was a friend of ours had given us basically take home containers. They gave us a bunch of them, like 50 of them. And we told the staff about them bringing them. But what we didn't expect them to do is the staff took the food in the back and then pre-made a bunch of containers of food, like all of the food that was for the wedding. And then once we got done cutting the cake, they took the rest of the cake and pre-made things of cake. And then they rolled out a cart full of all this stuff. And we told people, please take food home with you. Take it, because otherwise it was going to, go in our freezer. And people did. A lot of people did. And that meant for Jim and I that we didn't have to make nearly as much room as we thought we were going to, have to make a bunch of trips. We ended up coming back to the house because we stayed at the hotel for the weekend. We did come back to the house to just put the food in the freezer, but not having to deal with putting what we were thinking was going to be like trays of food into the freezer meant a lot. So thanks to everyone who took food home. We know June's family literally the next day ate food. I know friends that told me that they were really happy. It was a really great idea. So thanks to our friend Al who gave us those take-home containers, and thanks to the staff at the event center that put it together, because they didn't have to do that. They could have just set it all out and then let people kind of, dip what they wanted out of it and go. But yeah, so, and then the following day, actually, the Tuesday after, we have been dealing with a AC that has been slowly dying. We had a home warranty and we were taking care of it bit by bit, little bits by pieces. And we had a new company come through, and their last visit after it had died again was kind of like, so how much money you're wanting to put in this unit? The unit is from 91, so it is over 30 years old. So we scheduled an appointment to think about an upgrade. And we did the week after our wedding, like a few days after our wedding. They came in that Thursday and installed a new AC and HVAC. They did the whole thing, furnace and AC. And when it's great to have, it's been a bit of a pain because it's a newer unit. And there are other issues that have been happening since we got it. So fortunately, it's under warranty. And we had them show, they were literally here, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. No, Thursday this week. And they think they've diagnosed the potential problem. So we have another appointment coming next week to have another tech to come in next week to kind of check. It's potentially a ductwork issue. Like there's maybe the ductwork that we currently have is not big enough or whatever that they're going to have to look into. So, yeah. So, when you've been together 20 years and you've been living in a house for 8 years, you don't go on your honeymoon. You improve your home. But, again, the wedding was amazing and wonderful, and I had a really amazing time. We had a really amazing time, and I was so blessed and happy to have my friends and family there, especially those that showed up. Gary was one of them. and a few others. AJ, who's been on the show, Gabriel, who's been on the show. Obviously, if you've heard Jim through the years, he was there. He had to be there. And yeah, it was really great, and I'm really happy. And I will do this just because I feel like it needs to be done. This is my wedding band. Yeah,
Nice.
little blue and black. You can't see it because the blue is the scroll work inside is black, but it's kind of like a Celtic dragon. So you can't really see it in this moment. But yeah, I'm married now.
Yeah, I still didn't get an invitation.
You didn't get it?
Did you actually send one?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't checked my mailbox. So I didn't think you actually sent me one. I'm joking with you about not receiving one. It's authentically a joke.
I'm leaving. I can't with this.
So I didn't. If I'm not expecting something, I'm really bad at checking my mail. I'm sorry. I will check my mail and then report back. I'll go check my mail.
Well, too late now. You can't come to the wedding.
Well, I mean, as I said, I wasn't going to be able to make it anyways. But it's the thought that counts. It makes me feel like you would have appreciated me being there, even if I wasn't.
So there you go. Gary, how about you? Or you can come, whatever.
I'm still stuck on the fact that Jeff didn't bother to even check his damn mail. All right. Pride.
And now love.
And now I'm tired.
Fair. That's totally fair.
Just for those of you that may not necessarily know, for some of us, the month of June and being gay in the month of June is exhausting.
Girl.
Because it's kind of like, it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all of it wrapped together in less than 4 weeks. There's just a lot of stuff that happens.
Ooh, is that a new fan?
Kind of. I've had it for a while, but yeah. I don't think I've had it.
I don't
think
I've seen it.
Yeah. It is new to y'all. Yeah.
It's new to us. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyways.
No, so and for us up here, our Pride is at the end of the month. It's the last Saturday. So it culminates over time. Well. And because of my involvement, I decided this year to not go to any other Prides. Usually in the past, I attend a different one. Like I've been to Pittsburgh Pride many times. I've been to Columbus Pride a number of times. I try to think where else I've seen. I've seen Prides in a couple other cities. So you kind of do things. And this year I was like, nope, because it was all building up and work was crazy busy getting ready for Pride. We had a very successful Pride Day outing. Mine started at waking up at 5:30 in the morning. And it ended when I crashed at home, I think at about 9:30 that night. Wow. And I slept for like 12 hours solid.
Well, I would too.
What I realized is it was a lot like putting on a run. Only it was all like kind of pushed into one day. So yeah, so I started the day early, helped set up, and then like, I won't go into all the stories, but anyways, there was a lot of antics, a lot of bullshit in different pieces of things. But needless to say, we were able to get everything done and launched and set up, and we had a successful event. It is said to be the largest one to date. I haven't heard anything about attendance yet. There was a lot of like security safety focus put into this year. And we had like minimal stuff in that area to address. and we're going to have a meeting this coming Saturday to discuss a debrief of how things went, and then also plan for the next Pride event, which is in just a couple weeks, which will be a smaller scale affair at the end of July, and then a couple weeks after that is the picnic, which I've been helping with for many, many years. And I have to go back and try to do the math. I think this makes my 18th year.
Ooh.
And it's our 30th anniversary. So I've been running the kitchen doing that thing for like half of it at least. But anyways. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot. But I'm glad that it was successful and then it's done. I don't know about other prides out there, but our pride specifically, this is 2 years in a row since the pandemic. We're back in person, and the youth have been the major like attendee portion. Young adults, 20 somethings, and teens, like quite a few.
I was going to make a recommendation for a potential show maybe this month about like not retrospective, but the perspective of Pride now in regards to how we personally, we're in our 40s and going to a Pride now, and the differences that what we're seeing as opposed to what we saw, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, it was quite a bit. So I'm glad that it was safe. I'm glad that it's over. We have to plan for next year. Well, and things went so well, especially with the teardown this year compared to last year, that a group of us went out to dinner afterwards.
Oh wow!
Because last year we were dog ass tired and everybody just went home and died. But to be fair, like last year ended an hour earlier officially, and we were at the park an hour later than when we left this year. So that means we spent like almost 2 hours last year putting in more work to end it than we did this year, because we had more people step up with volunteers. We were a little more organized in some respects.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's good.
It went quite well. And so a bunch of us were sweaty, exhausted, but hungry, having been, volunteers and board members. And so we kind of debated on going out, and I wanted to go someplace that had air conditioning, which the air conditioning wasn't that cold, but that's another issue. But we didn't know quite how many people were going to go. We needed a place that could take a potentially sizable group at the last second. So we went to a place that doesn't require reservations. It has a big like seating area indoors, based on their setup. And I also wanted an ice cold beer. And I had 2. And they were glorious. But no, it was good. And so a bunch of us kind of like kibitzed and debriefed that evening. And then I came home and died, basically. So my body was like,
long rest.
Yeah, my body was like, you old girl, you can't do that shit anymore. Not like you used to.
Yes.
So
that right there.
Hashtag that.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of paying for it. I have this weird thing going on with my shoulder right now, and I think it's because of something that I did at Pride, but I don't quite know. Which is weird because it's been over a week, but it's just bugging the shit out of me. So, and I haven't been able to see my chiropractor, and I was gonna go on Monday, but then they called me Friday, and they were like, "Hey," I'm like, "Let me guess, you're not gonna be open on Monday," because I've been asking for like over a month. Like, are you gonna be open on the 3rd? Because of the 4th being the holiday here in the U.S. And they're like, well, we don't know. And I was like, well, write me down. So then they called on Friday. They're like, we're actually gonna. I'm like, let me guess, reschedule. And they were like, yeah. And the problem is that this coming week, I work Monday, I'm off Tuesday. I work Wednesday, Thursday, I'm off on Friday. So I don't have any real opportunity to go. So I have to wait a whole nother week.
Girl, that sucks.
I know.
That sucks.
So I'm thinking it's something that my chiropractor might be able to take care of, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I strained it or sprained it or did some stupid shit.
Take it easy.
So yeah, but that's that.
I guess it's time for some. Gary, what's going on over in the Twitterverse?
Well, first off, I don't know if the two of you do this, but apparently we turned 15 this year.
Oh.
This month, technically.
Oh.
Well, last month, because now it's July.
Oh.
And the only reason I know this is because last year, Twitter notified us that it was 14 years. And we celebrated that. But Twitter didn't tell us it was 15. I don't know why it wouldn't tell us. And it's not like it's imploded or like, you know, gone to like 10% of its workforce and it's been taken over by an egomaniac or anything.
Shade.
It's not shade.
No.
It's tea.
That's
yeah.
So,
I meant
anyways,
like the shade sound is what I was trying to go for there.
Oh,
RuPaul.
I don't think Jeff. I don't think
No,
Jeff has
he
that.
doesn't have that. That's fine. That's fine.
Wrong show.
That's fine.
So anyways, yeah, apparently we've been on Twitter for 15 years, maybe not much, very longer, depending on how things go. That being said, we want to thank the following people for following us on Twitter as it goes down in flames. At, here we go, SU 806-097-058-3061. At Andrew670397 and at Bare Naked Yogi.
Nice.
So thanks for following.
Yeah.
All right, I get why I felt the way I felt.
I was trying to think if I could make it a song or something. Like, was it a phone number? No, it's just
like
a random
867530999.
Yeah, it doesn't match. Anyways. David, what about YouTube?
So we got a comment on YouTube. We got a comment on episode 698, which was our Let's Talk About CPAPs finally, from Bobby M. He says, how does meds affect your chances of sleep apnea? I'm assuming this was a question.
Mm-hmm.
For Bobby, it's hard for me to say, as it's not really personally affecting me. But I don't know if medicines can potentially give you sleep apnea. They can cause difficulties with sleeping, like insomnia or making it harder for you to fall asleep. But I don't believe they can potentially give you sleep apnea. I may do a real quick Google search.
I don't think sleep apps are prescribed if you don't have sleep apnea. They would probably say you don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a medical professional, but it's not necessarily. CPAPs aren't a preventative necessarily; they're a treatment.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is a treatment. It is also a preventative, because by not breathing while sleeping, you actually create like conditions in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a cascade effect. So by not breathing and getting in the oxygen that you need, it turns into a bunch of stuff. Like one of the things is that you have less energy during the day. And by having less energy, you have a tendency to supplement your energy in various ways. A lot of people would use caffeine. A lot of people would like eat more, more sugar because they're trying to like boost their energy during the course of the day, which those things can lead to weight gain, which then kind of creates this fucked up cycle because like you gain weight because you're not sleeping correctly. And then you try to sleep more because you're always tired. And like you just kind of, so yeah, it's pretty much a treatment, but it does in effect prevent's not the right word. It staves off the compounding effects that come with that, of weight gain and higher blood pressure and the rest of that.
So. Interesting. So I went really quick search to find things, and there is a list that says medications that don't help with sleep apnea because they may make sleep apnea worse. And these include barbiturates, benzodiazepines, some beta blockers, opioids, sildenafil, which is an erectile dysfunction drug, so keep that in mind. Testosterone, and drugs that can cause you to gain weight. So in answer to your question, there's a possibility that these medications can make it worse, but you may already need to have sleep apnea in order for medications to potentially affect it further.
Right.
As Gary was kind of mentioning, one of the symptoms of sleep apnea is not symptoms. One of the potential causes of sleep apnea can be weight gain, or having obesity. That's the word I'm looking for. And you get into that vicious cycle, as he was saying, about taking things or eating food to keep yourself awake because you're dealing with sleep apnea, and it kind of affects it even more. Yeah, this was interesting. I may throw this on the doc.
Yeah, I would say go ahead,
because it's WebMD. So
yeah, I mean, I think Bobby's question is an interesting one about like how much could meds affect your chance, but also I was thinking in terms of like how much do meds affect your actual sleep apnea? Like, do they exacerbate it? Do they like help mitigate it? And I don't really know if there's any medicines that would affect your sleep apnea, like improve it or make it worse once you've been diagnosed with it. I mean, obviously, if you're taking something and you're probably taking the incorrect amount of it, like if you're taking a blood pressure medication and you're taking too much of it, like, and it lowers your blood pressure, that could be problematic.
Yeah.
And that would be compounded by having sleep apnea, especially if you're not using a CPAP or a BiPAP. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of mixed. But yeah, so I would say that there's probably not much in the midst of having it, and as far as affecting the potential of being diagnosed with it, I don't know. Like, so weirdly, like as a sidebar, sort of related, there was this scuttlebutt recently that apparently the president of the U.S. now has a CPAP. And there was this thing about like, there were these strange markings on the president's face. And I saw the picture and immediately I knew what it was. Anybody who's had a CPAP and wears a mask and has straps knows what that is.
Yeah.
Like it makes indentations in your skin temporarily. And so I found that interesting because my first thought was, well, looks kind of like to me, like they were wearing a mask of some kind. Probably a CPAP, although the strap line seemed kind of thick, but I was like, what do I know? And I think that might have surprised people because people consider the president of the United States a very trim, fit individual. But apparently they've had sleep apnea for quite a long time and it never was really dealt with. At least that's part of what I read. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. And one of the things I've learned is that it can affect anyone. Sleep apnea can affect everyone for many different reasons. It's not just the larger of us. Now, we're bears, so we know and we've seen it happen all the time, but sometimes even the smaller ones, the thinners, the pretty people, as it were.
Yeah, so, yeah, even if you have a trim build, you could potentially be affected. So,
yeah,
for sure. Jeff, what about Facebook?
Over on Facebook, we've got new followers with WK Samarantina, Luis Alfonso Cabrera, Miguel, different spelling of Miguel, Delgado, James Smith, Malindo, Angela, Levita, Terma Bear, Dario Montagna, yes, Carpenter, Logan James, Yash Saran, João Batista Abreu de Sosa, and Jimmy D. Tingle. Thank you for following on Facebook.
Yeah, I've noticed a trend over the past probably year or so that we're getting a lot more individuals abroad outside the U.S. borders that are kind of following us or whatever. We very much appreciate that. I'm not going to say that we've saturated the U.S. bear market, but
Probably not.
No, but we're becoming known in other regions. So, yeah. Thanks.
And back to you, Gary, for updates on Patreon.
Yeah, so we do always want to thank our patrons for being supportive of us. Of course, we give out our Big Bear Cub hugs to our patrons at the Cubster level, Charles W., Daniel C., and Michael K. And at the Uber level, Dave T., Lee, Michael Q., and Tim S., plus our buddies Lloyd G. and Michael V. No anniversaries in the past month on when they joined Patreon or changes in that area. So if you happen to be listening to this, patrons, if you want to reach out to us and let us know if you got our communications about the reward stuff, just to let us know, because we still have some rewards to send out to folks, but we haven't heard back. And that's pretty much it on that front. So yeah, thanks. We appreciate it.
And tell us about our shows in June.
So our most recent shows, obviously we did let me change that month. The What's Going On for the month of May 2023 was episode 696 that we did All Tea No Shade, kind of our annual discussion of LGBTQIA plus pride in 2023. And then yes, we did a Let's Talk About CPAPs. And then last week was not a flashback, but a callback to an earlier era of Cubs Out Loud where there was nothing specific to discuss. And so we just called it Nothing in Particular.
And then we ended up talking about food.
Shocker.
Bears
Did
talking about food?
Yeah, exactly.
Groundbreaking.
I know. Wild, huh?
Mm. Yeah.
I guess. No, it's time for this. All right, enough of that. There's a reason why I'm having Damon go first.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna fix the document because I'm like, wait, what happened?
No, there's a reason. It's intentional.
Okay. So
Damon goes
I will go first. I'm not muted. Yep. Okay, cool. New headset. FYI.
Who dis?
I have two. My first one is from OZ Photography or Oz Photography. And I just called it A Beautiful Kiss. Really awesome photograph of two beautifully bearded men, bald men, in a very beautiful kiss. I love this picture.
Yeah, I've been following Oz Photography for probably a couple of years now. And so the primary subjects of this photography is themselves. It's the photographer and their spouse. And they're a beautiful couple. There are all sorts of like different poses and different things depending. Like, so there's a lot of outdoor scenes. There's indoor stuff. They're a beautiful looking couple of guys. And this is just another version of that. I like the fact that it's the two of them. And it's not silhouette. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's like the reverse of that. So it's a black backdrop and it's just the two of them in front of it, embracing each other and kissing. So yeah.
Yeah.
But they're two
beautiful daddy muscle bear-ish types. Yeah. Erotic art is what he's called. Yes. He said, Oz Photography says, aesthetic, erotic, soulful, erotic art with substance. There you go. And then my second pick is, I said, if this was what Street Fighter looked like, and it is a video. It says this is from at Psychorax976. I don't know if this is actually his video or not, but he says the nude mods in Street Fighter 6 are amazing. And it's a video about, I think, 20, 30, almost 30 minutes, 30 seconds long of a fight with Zangief and Blanca. And it's obviously a nude mod, so you've got peen and butt and all that kind of stuff going on, and rather interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, so apparently this is a mod that's only available on PC, and it also apparently requires an app called Fluffy. I don't know why, but that's what I'm reading in the chat thread here, because people are like, oh my god, I have to have this. How do I do this or whatever? So, yeah. I just think it's really funny because I've seen a couple videos of this now, and what cracks me up is, yeah, it's fun to see these characters totally nude and their wangs, but like they just, like, the dick just swings around, like, you know. I mean, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, like, you know.
I mean, the
after
game
you watch so much of it. Yeah.
The games themselves aren't meant to be like pornographic. It's just a fun little mod that you can have on it, and I think it's fun. Nothing more than that. I think it's hilarious, and because especially with Zangief, as we're kind of looking through this, the video that I have, it's his moves are a lot of like wrestling style moves, and
right.
There's a lot of basically head and crotch, head and ass, like face and ass and stuff going on.
But I think that's just it, is like, my feeling on it is because some people have such a hard on for Zangief. I'm like, it's fine that there's a mod, but there's a part of me that's like, could there be a mod and a modification to gameplay where, like, once he pins down the partner, he actually fucks them? like that's,
yeah,
you know. Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, fair. That's fair.
So Jeff?
Following that up with the different one.
Oh, yes. Okay. So this is a little bit more. I've seen this one. I'm pretty sure I shared this one. Maybe a different post or tweet of it, but it's the same fight. Yeah.
Well, it's a different one. Because it's still Zangief, but this time with E Honda.
Yes, I'm seeing.
And Yi Honda is erect. like Zangief isn't, but it's just cracking me up how the other player is, like, just with a heart on, and that's all there is to it.
It is pointing, yes.
But I like this animation sequence better. Like,
I mean, there's a I just did a random pause, and I mean, in this point, because Zangief, I'm so distracted, I have to go turn away from it. Zangief has landed with his legs kind of split, but his torso is forward, and he's got Honda on his back. Like, they might as well just fuck right then and there. Like, it's just, like,
right.
And just penis. Just.
And for all those sumo fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Honda is that kind. And Zangief gets wrecked. Not in the way that some of us would like to see, but still.
Someone in the chat thread for this post said, "No way, I'm buying it." It just makes me laugh.
I love how someone says, "This is a mod." Like, yes, this is definitely a mod.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone said, "I love schlong physics," which is to be fair, because like if it's not erect, then like I do have to give credit to like the programming that went into this stuff because they swing and go everywhere.
Oh God. Sorry, someone does a picture and says goals, and it's that's not okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Gary,
I know
after
this
all
looks a little.
that,
I know this looks a little weird for posting, but I have two different posts. Both of them used like emoticons as their caption. So the first one is a peach and then a pride flag, and they both go to the same post. And this is at Grim_Vision, aka Indrid Cold Cut Sub. And he has this like really great photograph from home. It's just kind of like a impromptu caption of him standing in front of his mirror, but he's facing the camera. And he's wearing like a football jersey and just a jock strap. So his ass is what's being shown off in the mirror. But he's a thick boy and is the partner of another handsome gentleman. But I just love, like, he's got a nose ring that matches to his earring. He's got like the little curly tip mustache kind of deal. He's just a cutie. What?
Your reply, Gary. The GIF.
Oh, what? It's true though.
No. That was Gary's GIF reply to this Grim Vision post.
I would eat his ass. It's
It is
yeah. He's got thick thighs. Like
yes, he does.
He's got things working for him. So yeah.
Oh. That's nice. Sorry, I just saw where he lives. Nice. Good to know.
Yeah, he's a sweetie. He has a cutie husband as well. I follow both of them on Facebook. So although this gentleman will post things that are a little bit more on the risque side, his husband doesn't. So there's a mystery, there's an intrigue to me.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
Sorry, just looking at your other pick.
So yeah, there's the first one, and then the second one is just a drop, like a water droplet symbol. And this happens to be Brute and Brawn, who I think I've posted it before. They do amazing art, and I've been following them for a number of years. And this one is like no exception by any means. It looks like it's possibly an oil painting. I imagine it was done digitally. But it's of this gorgeous, huge gentleman who just got done plundering somebody, apparently, in bed. Because I don't know who the gentleman is that we see, like, the
back glazed donut.
Yes, there you go.
it's more of a glazed peach.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Peaches and cream.
There you go. But yeah, it's just I've not seen this pose before. But no, it's gorgeous. Like it's so like well done and sexy. Like it's one of those, like, I would probably have a print of this and put it up in my home, like probably in my bedroom, obviously not in the living room.
Yeah. And to your left,
more private space,
ass and cream and dick.
Right.
Yeah, I've also been following Brute and Brawn for a while, and they do some really amazing work, and this is no exception. I am really, in this particular instance, just the what's happened aside, just the detail work, the color choices, like the look on this daddy, I don't want to call him a daddy bear, but like the top's face, for lack of a better phrase, this almost looks like an image that was captured with a camera and then digitally painted. But I know that's not the case here. I know Brute and Brawn like actually draws everything that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's amazing to me as I look at this picture. Like this face, this man's face looks like a face that I know. Like I feel like I don't know. I may not know who this is. I feel like I could know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
And the pose, the positions, the color choices, just the way things are just laid out. It's quite interesting. Like the look of the guy's face, it kind of looks like you're next, or
Did you get that?
It's your turn. Yeah.
Or he's turning around to grab the camera.
Yeah, that could be it too. Like he's gonna this is a video, and he's gonna grab the camera and then just sort of show this glazed peach, this peaches and cream, off that he has done.
Or just stop the video.
Or stop. Well, you don't have to stop the video. Sometimes people like that. It's fine. Either way, it's good. It's just really good. I really like this. I think I did like this a while back. Yeah.
So yeah, I just really, really like this one. I wanted to share it.
Thank you for sharing.
Moving on into the links, to follow up on part of last week's discussion, Star Trek Strange New Worlds started last month. Season 2, I should say. Putting a link and it will be embedded on our website to the trailer, but it's on Paramount Plus, which you can either get through Paramount Plus, or if you just want to continue using your YouTube login, you can actually subscribe to Paramount Plus's Primetime channel on YouTube and watch it there. Convenient. You don't have to have another user ID password. But I haven't watched this last episode because I've been distracted by something else that launched this last month, which is Final Fantasy 16. It's an exclusive on the PlayStation 5 for the moment. I believe it's got a 5-month or 6-month exclusivity deal, but apparently the PC version is probably going to take longer than that. 6 months. So I can't play it. So I've had to live vicariously through other people, but I have to say, this is a sweet looking game. And I would love to play through the story. I'm watching Mr. Happy a playthrough of it on his Twitch VODs, as well as watching Grinding Gear do a duo version. What?
You okay over there, Damon?
Just the fact that his name was Mr. Happy. I'm sorry. It just tickled me a little bit. Sorry. I'll have to tell you later. Sorry.
Moving on, Gary.
So before I get into mine, real quick. So you didn't see episode 3 of Strange New Worlds,
Tomorrow,
then I take it.
Tomorrow.
Correct. Okay. It's good.
I could have watched it early because of my job, but I didn't. And I got around to it because I've been distracted by Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. No, it's good. I don't want to give anything away. Like, you could really kind of need to see the episode to it's a thinker. I'll be very curious to see what impact it has on future episodes in the season.
But it's not the first episode, and it's not the second episode. It is. It's a completely different thing. Very much like classic Star Trek.
Well, that's the interesting thing about Strange New Worlds is that they have it's episodic television. It's back to each episode is self-contained, and yet
They have an
not 100
overarching
right.
threads to connect them all together.
And so this has some impacts on a character in a way that I'll be curious to see what comes later in the season. Because I feel like we didn't have this episode for no reason. I mean, we definitively had the episode for a very specific reason, but that it's so big in the lore, kind of like the effect of things, the decision that gets made. Like, I'm very curious to see how it plays out later, like what that means. So, yeah, no. And I don't even want to spoil it because there's a great cameo in it. So, anyways,
Yeah, you'll have to. You can mention about it off air when we get off air, because
okay,
I am a person who is essentially immune to spoilers.
okay.
I appreciate the journey, even if I know things that happen along the way.
Yeah.
So somebody telling me something happens just makes me more excited for it.
So speaking of spoiler-free stuff, my pick is from the movies, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It just came out on Friday. I actually went and saw it Thursday night as the preview night locally. I was going to go see it like during the course of this weekend or on July 4th, and then I realized I don't like crowds. So I took a chance and because I have a membership with our local, we only have one major local movie place. So I have a year-long membership with them where I get a discounted ticket every single month, basically. And they build up and I can use them whenever for other folks as well. So I decided to go ahead and use one of my tickets, so to speak, for that night to go see it, because it is almost 3 hours long. So it's a long show. It's a long movie. It kind of needs to be. I think it's a little debatable. All I'm going to say is I was entertained. I enjoyed it. And God damn it, it made me cry at the end. And I don't want to give away a spoiler, but there's a very good reason as to why it ends a certain way. It's really beautiful how it's done. And I realized that a lot of people are probably going to say, oh, this is such a fan service movie, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, the man is like 80 plus. Like, come on. This is definitively the last movie.
Right.
Like, so, yes, absolutely. It was a money grab in a way. And I feel bad that apparently the opening weekend hasn't gone as people were expecting. And they're all being very critical about how, like, they shouldn't have done it, or they made a bad choice and all this shit. And I'm like, you know what? Like, the world has changed vastly and all the previous formulas just aren't reliable. So yeah, you have these tentpole movies, these franchises, and maybe you'll do decent and maybe you won't. I think people will go and see it. People that enjoy it, enjoy the franchise. There's a lot to enjoy in it. There's so much that's like classic about the franchise. Is it a little kitschy at times? Yeah. But also very intriguing. And they make a decision towards the end in the last act that makes you wonder about how it's going to end. I mean, you get a resolution, so they don't leave it open-ended. But there's just this moment that comes and you're kind of like, wow, is this what they're going to do? Anyways.
That sounds nice.
You have to watch it. Like, it's I don't know. I just really, and as a child of the 80s, it like, yeah, that's why the ending was very moving. I was like, wow.
Okay.
So then I was pissed because I'm sitting in a movie theater with like 8 other people. None of them are near me, but I'm just sitting there with bawling and I'm crying and I'm like, really? So anyways,
movies can make you do that.
I know. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. I'm glad that they did it because Lord knows they had to fucking make up for, what is it, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, whatever that bullshit was. Because I'm sorry, it was just not a good movie. Nobody likes to talk about it. Like, everybody ignores the 4th movie. There's a trilogy, and then they made a 5th movie. But right,
we don't talk about 4th edition.
No,
we don't talk about that.
D&D reference there?
Yep.
Yep.
You're picking up what I put down. There you go.
Probably 4th edition. Despite what they said. Don't get me wrong. 5th edition has been better, but still. I like it.
We could.
No. Anyways, moving on.
Start debating that. Yeah. Yeah, I can start debating. I'm not going to do that. Okay.
With that, I believe that's the end of the show. Great, because I'm going to have to use one of those toilets afterwards. Playlist, contact us. Pop over to COL700.com. Shoot us an email at COL700@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail 60 or otherwise at 361-COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at COL700 in the appropriate place of the URL. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also join our entourage chat on Telegram at bit.ly/telegram-COL. And you can subscribe to our Google Calendar and see when we're planning to record these things at bit.ly/calendar-COL. You get various accoutrements such as a Consent is My Foreplay shirt, or one of our new flexibility for accessibility shirts. Over on his Zazzle store at zazzle.com/cubsoutloud. Some of these designs, in fact, the ones we are wearing, were designed by Smashy. You can find more of his work at tpublic.com/user/SmashyTheBear. Why do we keep mentioning that? Contractual obligations. But also because we appreciate him so much. We do. We love Smashy. Anyways. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/cubsoutloud. And you can send us a donation at paypal.me/cubsoutloud. You can find us on various podcasting platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Amazon and Audible, too. You can find me anywhere on the internet as Box, that Box, Puppy Box, Cut Box, something or other, which is mainly me just retweeting things on Twitter during these episodes. Damon?
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79. That's TheaterCub79 on most bear-related sites or on Facebook. Or you can find me as Pup_Umbra on Twitter. The Twitter is definitely not safe for work. Gary?
If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as GareBear73.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, y'all.